Let's go.
Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're joined by Chad Hartman, Vice President of Global Strategy at Integrity ISR. Chad brings over 30 years of experience in defense and intelligence with a deep background in ISR operations, strategic planning, and national security. Chad, thank you for being here with us today.
Hey, thank you, Wes.
Chad, after Operation Midnight Hammer, the U.S. made obviously international headlines, not just for the precision of the strike, but for how confidently they discussed the aftermath. General Kane's debrief emphasized that initial battle damage assessments indicate that all three sites sustained extremely severe damage and destruction. With BDA, how do we know? What is BDA and what do you want to speak on this?
I think what's most important is to understand, really, as you just posed, what is BDA? And fundamentally, what it comes down to, it's battle damage assessment. And the way it's been done over time is incredibly well tested and honed. It's not always exercised because we don't always get to those kind of situations, but basically has three main phases. Phase one of battle damage assessment is, hey, from a damage perspective, physical kind of analysis. Did the munitions did they actually achieve the effect we wanted right there? Is it actually, from a physical standpoint, did the weapon work? Did it hit where we thought it was going to go? Did it actually seem to go and detonate or go off the way we anticipated it would? And so that will drive restrike recommendations that you have on call to be able to do immediately. And phase two is really leveraging a whole lot of different systems, a whole lot of different intelligence disciplines and domains to put that complete picture. And what it's looking at is beyond the physical damage that you can tell on what took place. What was the functional effect? What was that functional damage that actually happened? And so did we actually achieve what we wanted to achieve for the objectives, particularly for that individual target and what we were going after? Phase three looks at the target system writ large. Great example of that is when you start to take Esfahan, Natanz, and the Fordo, the nuclear development program, that target system. Did we achieve the effects we wanted for that whole system? That usually takes longer, and that's a more systemic look across the board and be able to drive, hey, were we able to not only put the weapons where we want to achieve some functional results on each of these targets, but did it affect the overall system, the more strategic objectives of what we were after?
So when General Kane says extremely severe damage and destruction, what are analysts and satellites actually seeing? What's the difference between this political messaging and then verified ISR?
There's some tradecraft you're not going to get into, things you kind of observe, but it's pretty obvious some of the more fundamental things. Those things hit in an area that was suspected, at least what we thought, and go after. You're seeing a little bit of collapsing, I think, taking place from the commercial imagery that's available out there, and you're definitely seeing some blow black come back out of there. What that says is we had the weapon went as it was expected, went to what the depth it was probably expected to go and detonated. So you definitely have achieved that level of physical damage that you wanted to achieve. Now, whether or not it was in the right exact place or the actual functionally it did what we wanted to is something that takes a little time and different intelligence to be able to drive that. And that's something I think when you make that statement, it's very accurate. Our first analysis, as we go through this, the mission went off, like clockwork, just like it was supposed to, and affected. And then what we'll find out over time is, hey, was the nuclear material, all of it still there? Some of it's still there. Does it matter? Is there other, materials been smuggled out beforehand? Those are different answers that are going to take time that comes in, and it kind of fits that bigger phase three for the target system writ large.
With so many assets, satellites, aircraft, cyber tools working together, how central is our space intelligence in the early stages of battle damage analysis?
It's absolutely crucial because of access, right? I mean, it's going to be something that you're going to probably have, and you can do concentrations or something so that you can try to have some focused collection because you have access to come in. You can do it through other means and mechanisms, but sometimes that's a little more difficult if it's in a different domain when you're in a contested environment and having to deal with that. But keep in mind, there was a large number of aircraft reported by the administration that flew there. So there might have been additional assets that are along with them that are actually observing and taking place, doing escort kind of roles for those B-2 bombers. So they probably had some multiple eyes, not just from space, but from air and perhaps even other areas. We don't know.
As far as BDA or battle damage assessment goes, what are some things that the general public should know about that as they proceed into the following days where we continue to hear things about what is transpiring in the Middle East?
The biggest thing you're going to learn and this is why I think General Kane is exactly the response we provided. If you've been in the military doing this for quite some time, one, you're never going to get 100% answers. you're going to get very good fidelity information that leads you to be able to make probable or possible confirmations in that regard, which is what you have to look at, because you're never truly getting 100%. But I think the system is designed well to be very methodical, to be able to take many different forms and fashions of information and not just single points of information, so that you can actually look at it and see what is the most probable answer we can drive and meet those objectives. It's purposely designed like that. And some of these harder targets that are buried so deep, they may take a little bit longer to get the conclusive proof that you're truly looking for.
Well, Chad, I just want to say thanks again for joining us today and having this conversation on battle damage assessment. I think it's truly helpful for people who are watching this to understand a little bit more about what it means, the background behind it, how steps are taken to prove the assessment. And if you're watching this and you'd like to learn more about the work that we're doing at Integrity ISR or explore education and workforce training through our very own ISR University, visit us at integrityisr.com and isruniversity.com. Until next time, stay informed and stay ready.